We're going to look at groups. Groups are a way of combining both mixer and edit functions, or one or the other. So we're going to see how to create a group. At the moment, if I use our drums as an example, now we've got the useful folder track, and all of our drums are summing through to the folder, so the audio has been routed into this one stereo fader. That's brilliant, but I'm going to select all of my drums and create a group. And the group menu is down here. You can use the group menu if you can't remember shortcuts. There's something called new group. If I add the new group, and this is our drums, and I can see that all of these drums have been added to the group. So later, if I've missed one, I could add it in, or if I've accidentally put the bass in the group, I could remove it at this point. Before you go, okay, that's fantastic, we have the option to make this just edit, just mix, or mix and edit. So we have the two windows, the mixer window we're looking at now, and the edit window where you make your arrangements. So if you want to group together tracks so you can edit them all together, this is how to apply that. And maybe you don't want them to group in the mixer. If we group them in the mixer, then the faders will all move together as we grouped. Let's just see what happens with both. Before we go any further, there's an important tick box here that says follow globals. Now, globals is the tab here. Whatever is selected in the globals will happen to this mix edit. If we turn that off, we can go to attributes, and you can choose, and again you can see you can be really specific about what will happen within the group. So I can choose solos, but I don't want inputs and records. When you're in record, when you're going into record in the studio, I suggest this is quite a useful one to have on your globals, that we actually include record enable and input monitor. That means I could set up 10 tracks for my drums, and then I can put them all into record at once. Let's just have a quick look at that. So let's go with globals now, and drums, say OK. Notice that this just changed colour, so it knows it's a group, and we've got B drums. So I've got another group come down here. You can see I've got a group for vocals already, and I've got a group for drums. They're highlighted, that means they're active. That means my faders all move together in unison. If I unselect this, they're all independent again, and then I can group again. So if I let's make a bold choice here, have lots of the sub, and I regroup, it's going to remain in the group. Let's nip to the edit window, which is not that one, and now I've got a way I can edit the group. Let's undo that, and again go to your groups to turn that off as we group. So I think that probably makes sense. There are some very useful functions here as well. You can display different groups, suspend groups, modify groups, delete active groups. So use the menu there, check which groups are active. There are also shortcuts so that we can hide groups. Let's just nip to the, I'll keep using the Mac shortcut, sorry. So for instance, I can use Control and click. So there's modify keys which will allow you to make changes to your groups and how they're displayed. You can hide groups. Okay, if you want to make any changes to your group, again you can select groups, you can edit your groups, so also modify groups. And I can go back, and let's say I didn't on the vocal group, I thought, hold on, I don't want the reverb in the vocal group. I can remove that and say OK. OK. That's associated to a fader. So there's groups. I was going to mention that now I chose those global attributes of input monitor and record enable. So if you're in the studio and you've set up 10 tracks and they're all ready to go, instead of going through the individual tracks to arm them between each take, you can just do your whole group. Later on, if you start using something called playlists, again, the grouping is really useful in the studio to be fast, because you can group all your faders together, like let's say your drums as an example, and then we can use something called playlists and make a really fast new take. So we make one take, maybe it's great, and we're not so happy about the chorus. We're going to do a brand new take, start to finish of the song. Playlists is the next thing for you to start to investigate.